Yeah, I mean, I was in an event, South by 2023, and one of the sponsors of this event was in from New York. So this is a pick on New York, even though I did undergrad at West Point, my PhD at Columbia, and I love New York City. And he said, I was
Everything before
expecting
the butt doesn't count.
okay. I was expecting to see one, two, three people here. They're not here. This was not my event, but I knew the people throwing the event. And I said, well, look, you come to Austin, you come to Texas, and you visit with people. Like you have to get to know them, and you will soon be meeting these people, but this is not a transactional city. Like, and I said, that's one of the things I've enjoyed about Austin versus New York. Like in New York, it's like, I'm going to do something here for Jason. There it is in my hand. You see it, right? Okay, but look over here and you see this hand, right? So giving you this, but just don't forget about the like and then and so he and I had this conversation. He goes, exactly. I'm like, he said that it's we all know that about New York. That's what makes this machine work so powerfully well in New York is because it is transactional. And I'm like, all right, well, we all have our perspectives, and maybe he's right, but here it is in Joseph Cop. There's no better example than Joseph Copster, who just lifts everybody, like always lifting up and then calling out, connecting dots. Like Joseph is like he's like the I don't know the maestro of open networks and a culture of help.
It's funny. I want to go back to what you said with the guy from New York saying that's how
Yeah.
it works. That's
Hmm.
not necessarily a bad thing because you
Yeah.
have different regions and ecosystems have different flavors, have different first principles. And so this is the way New York works, which means it attracts certain kind of people. It attracts certain kind of like there are things that connect. I mean, and I've really begun to see that kind of connection between the kind of the innate nature of different ecosystems. I'm sure that you can draw a line from 1600s fur trading in New York to Wall Street. Like New York was always New York. It's looked different ways, and that's the kind of thing that works there. Austin works differently. Silicon Valley works differently, and that's great. Then you have those different things create there, different things pop up. It's when you try to shove this mode or that mode and not being authentic to the core nature of the region. And also, if you don't fit, and I'm thinking more from a company perspective, if like this is the types of things that make perfect sense for here, like I was like, if you're building the next foundational AI model, maybe you should probably be in San Francisco. You can do that elsewhere. You see like Mistral and some of these other things elsewhere, but you're making it harder on yourself. But then there are things that work
It's a
really
great
well
point.
here.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it makes me think about when Mithril. So when we think about all the companies coming to Austin, the first biggie, I think you may have your own, but the way I tell the story, Mithril, which was a Peter Thiel, a Jay Royan fund, they said we're out of San Francisco. We want something else, and they did this extensive research. That's a big thinking firm, long-term investor, patient investor, nationwide study to figure out where to move Mithril, and they looked at every city, and then they looked at the cultures there. They looked at like these embedded bureaucracies. They looked at weather. They looked real estate, like literally housing, school, like this huge like algorithm, and they chose Austin, Texas. But the North Star was like this was a frontier city where you could kind of do anything. Like there's nothing holding you back from trying to, you know, build and live out your dreams. And I think that's what we have. Like it's a frontier mentality here in Austin, and I think our how do we take the best? Like I want these amazing people from New York, amazingly talented people from New York. In the Bay Area and San Diego, like I think it's awesome they're coming here. This is you and I hear both sides of this discussion about all the people moving here, but I'm like, let's all this talent, but let's keep this culture that we have here. And really, if we with that the talent and the culture, it's a 1 + 1 = 11
Yeah.
potential here in Austin.